Welcome back to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier. And thrilled to have you joining us today for this episode of our podcast, which is now sponsored by Four Paws Restaurant, the iconic fine dining restaurant in St. Paul, Minnesota, located in a beautifully restored mansion built in 1870 with wonderful food, professional attentive service, and great wine. Four Paws closed during COVID and was closed for about 6 years, reopened in August 16th of 2024. The wine and spirits that were in the restaurant when it closed were taken to the offices of the man that owns the restaurant and stored just in boxes in a storeroom in his office building. I went last week and got a lot of that wine, most of it to bring to the restaurant to cook with. It had been stored mostly, pretty much all of it stored standing up in a storeroom that when I picked it up, the temperature outside was about 15 degrees and the temperature in this storeroom was in the high 70s. So for 6 years, these wines were stored in about as bad of conditions as it's possible to store wine in. I guess the only worst way would be on top of the refrigerator. Um, so I brought these wines back to the restaurant with the intention of giving them to the chef to cook with, to make sauces with or marinades with, and which I did. But there were some wines that were interesting enough that I pulled them out with the intention of just opening them, and if they were good, serving them. Um, I opened a 2009 Pierre Gaillard Saint Joseph Blanc, and it was completely gone, oxidized. Um, but last night I opened a 2006 Domaine Leflaive Macon-Verze. So Macon-Verze is Domaine Leflaive's entry-level wine. They make Montrachet, they make Criotte Batard Montrachet, they make Batard Montrachet, they make Chevalier Montrachet, etc. But the Macon-Verze is their entry-level wine. 18 years old, stored impossibly badly. No chance of being drinkable. And guess what? It was absolutely extraordinary. It was mature. It was deep kind of gold color, which you would expect. There were no notes of oxidation, no notes of materization. Rich, full-bodied, textured on the palate, really ripe, like Granny Smith apples and Bosc pear, fruit, floral character. No oak influence at all. The acid was, attenuated at this point at 18 years old, but still had the backbone of acidity and minerality that you'd like to have from a Macon, from a great producer, perhaps the greatest producer of Chardonnay in the world. I don't know this for a fact, but I suspect that Claude Leflaive would say that the reason this may be part of the reason this wine was still drinkable at 18 years old, having been stored impossibly badly, is because of the biodynamic farming that she practices. I don't know. I do know that a lot of the world's greatest wines are made from grapes that are farmed biodynamically, but I don't know that has any influence in this situation. But I think I know her well enough to know that she would say it does. Anyway, 18-year-old Macon-Verze from Domaine Leflaive, 2006, stored horribly, was an absolutely fabulous wine. So if you see any 2006 Domaine Leflaive Macon-Verze that wasn't stored impossibly badly, buy all you can buy, no matter what the price is. Because a bottle that was stored well is going to be something magical indeed. You just never know. Wine is so much more resilient than we give it credit for. Open the bottle. I mean, some wines in my career that I've opened that appeared to have no chance of being drinkable, with tremendous ullage or rotten corks, or whatever condition, that the bottle just seemed like the wine had no chance of being even drinkable, much less memorable, turned out to be some of the greatest wines I've ever tasted. So always open the bottle. Always smell the wine. You'll know when you smell the wine most of what you need to know. And then sometimes you might get really, really lucky, like I did last night. I shared it with quite a few people in the restaurant. I had, a couple of ounces, and then I shared it with people in the restaurant. Everybody was mind blown. Thanks for tuning in for Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier. If you're in the Twin Cities, come see me at Four Paws Restaurant. It's a fantastic, fantastic, beautiful, beautiful restaurant.